Cool. Let's segue this bad boy into the Picard season 2 trailer. We're gonna watch some little snippets of it, and we're gonna talk about it.
All right, segue.
Here we go, segueing away, and this is the trailer. I wish I clicked that button faster. Okay. All right, here we go, boys and girls. We're gonna hit play.
You're off.
Yeah, wasn't there a Rose in the first season too?
I don't remember.
I can't remember, but I saw that shard of glass with the rose. I'm like, oh, what is that? That looks familiar, but at the same time, I have no idea and I haven't researched into it because I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time. When the series comes out, I'm going to see what they got.
Yeah, I think there's a red rose tattoo or something on one of the characters.
Maybe it's Vosh. First thing,
the trial never
John
ends.
looking good.
Looking
Still got that gleam in his eye.
Yeah, he does, but he's also seems like the antagonist right now, and I gotta be honest, if that's the case, that sort of bums me out.
But he's always been that.
He's been a sort of an antagonist. He might be the reason an adventure happens, but there's usually a moral to it. It's not dire as this trailer is sort of putting it out there.
Well, and he usually is part of the solution, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Right. And Picard gets pissed.
Way too old for your bullshit.
I love that. Okay, I gotta come back to the 3 up here because that scene when he just looks at him and goes, that was like badass Q.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him do it before.
Like, stop.
Yeah, and I've seen Picard beg for lenience from Q before.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Which is a hard thing to watch, and I think it's why we like the relationship so much, because you don't want to see your strong captain do that, but you do the same thing in your own shoes.
Yeah, Q's a god, literally, right?
Yeah.
Oh, New City's getting destroyed.
Something.
I gotta be very honest. The captain of the Rio, I keep forgetting his name, but that is one of the characters that I actually liked a lot in season.
Yeah,
1.
I really ended up deep into that yet. I meant to, but then I'm like, well, what am I going to do with that information?
Look at Admiral Picard with that Terran-looking Star Trek badge and the fascist-looking red.
Yeah, and will this actually be the mirror universe that we know, or is there just yet another dark parallel universe? Oh yeah, that banner right there in the back.
That's the Terran.
That's Terran right there.
That's Terran. So here's an idea. So if it's not the mirror universe, what if Q simply changed something in our history that made us take the same path, made the proper timeline take the same path as the mirror universe?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said. He actually said that. He said that Q changed something in the past to create a what did he say?
A totalitarian.
Yeah.
Right.
Now the question is did Q go back to 2016 or did Q just invent social media?
See, that's what is going to bother me about this.
He invented Facebook.
Yeah, that's all it would take.
That's funny. I don't think they're going to go that route because we know, and this is why I don't like knowing the actors that I love and care about. I don't like knowing their political affiliation.
Yeah, we know too much about everybody now.
Yeah, we do. Too much.
And so when you have something like this, where you know that Picard, that Patrick Stewart came back to this show because he wanted it to not be like Next Generation. It was important to him. And
want to do something new with the character.
Something new, and how strongly he is voicing against Brexit and against Trump, which is fine, whatever, that's his politics. And people are entitled to their own opinion. But now we are seeing that if that's the case, what they're saying is they're coming back to current day. It says 21st century. They got to go back to our current day. Now, when did this start filming? I don't think Biden was president yet. No. So, yeah. So it's a little
but also they might not be that, there's going to be people that'll take anything they do and try to make it right on the nose for whatever they want to steer it towards.
Confirmation.
But we don't know. We don't know until we see it.
I mean, it could be that Q went back in time and killed some politician's dog that we never even heard of, and that set up.
Yeah, it could just be some small little thing that had a big old ripple effect.
Well, see,
I would love it if he invented Facebook, though, because that with
really
or without Trump and all that stuff, social media is going to be bringing us.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I hope you're
right.
Q invented OnlyFans. I'm calling it right now.
I hope you guys are right, because here's the thing: is because I know, and this is the point I wanted to make before we talked about this, because I know Patrick Stewart's affiliation, because I know he's heavily involved with the creation of this season specifically. He's right in there with the writers. Because I know how he feels, and because now they're talking about a totalitarianism regime being created in our time, it takes away from the fantasy that I have of Star Trek potentially, and that bothers me a little bit.
But we don't know yet.
But we don't know.
Hiroshi in the comments
you
said,
just got your fears coming to the forefront of your brain.
It does.
I see a lot of people do that, and they're like, "Oh, it's going to be this or that." I'm like, "Well, you don't know, but
That's
you're
true.
acting as if it is."
But we'll judge
Gotta
it
wait and see.
fairly.
yeah, of course.
Fairly, but
Well, I hate it when things are too on the nose.
right.
So I'll have to wait and see. And
Hiroshi
see if
in
the
the-
way
in the
they, even
chat.
if it is on the nose, I have to see how they handle it. Because especially the original series that's the whole purpose of the original series was to bring up those modern day problems and things that were going on. But they did it in a great way where they had,
Yes.
these things go on with aliens. So we'll have to see how it
was
plays
about
out.
social issues, not politics. You
Well, see-
know, it was interesting. Hiroshi says Q starts QAnon.
QAnon. Oh.
That's actually pretty funny. Good job.
Yeah,
Yoshi.
and just
I mean, I hope they don't do that because it's too on the nose.
Too on
but
the
that is
nose.
funny.
Jeremy Snyder said it's definitely the origin of the Terran Empire. But my question is the origin of the actual mirror universe Terran Empire?
No, it can't be.
It could just be another parallel. I mean, there's probably a million Terran variations.
Yeah, I
It
guess
would
you're
be.
right.
It would be interesting if somehow Q created the mirror universe. That actually might be interesting.
Oh, that.
And we have to remember it's Q. This is Q.
Yeah.
So this whole thing could just be a whole facade.
Yeah,
It's not real at all.
can all
Like
just
when,
take
when they
place
were
in-
when they were in the Robin Hood
Right.
storyline.
It can all take place in Picard's android brain. You're right. Let's
And there's
go back
so
to
much
this.
stuff that Q can do. There's so many places they could go with this show. I just hope they don't waste it on something frivolous.
Yeah, I don't want
when
that. Going back in the past would have been the last. If you asked me, hey, what possible plots do you want for the next season of Picard? The very last one on my list would have been going back to the past, like
To our time.
Please,
No, they could have gone. They could have gone to the constellation.
maybe a little bit. But in some way, continue the story. In some way.
Mhm.
Right.
A lot of Star Trek. The last 3 seasons of Discovery. I'm sorry, last 2 seasons of Discovery. Season 1 and 2, and even Picard. It seems to be very much sort of stalled out, and not really continuing the story of Star Trek. And I really want to see Star Trek continue in some way, not just constantly revisiting old ideas and rehashing broken canon. Let's go back to this trailer real quick. Hey, speaking of past, look at this. Oh, draws them to the past.
Draws them to the best. I do remember when the first teaser came out a while ago, where it's just like just a little nothing teaser. I remember they promoted it with the phrase "the road not taken."
Yes.
And I'm like, ooh, that's Orville, yo.
Oh! Oh man, imagine that.
And the Orville was dealing with a parallel timeline or an alternate timeline. Now we got an alternate
literally,
timeline.
season 2, episode 13, The Road Not Taken.
Well, it looks like they're going to use the Borg Queen to go back into the past. That's interesting.
Yeah. And it looks like
So is the Borg
she's
Queen
some
on
sort of
ice?
prisoner or something.
Yeah, is she locked up somewhere? Like,
Well, no, that's her normal. Well, I mean, it's hard to tell. Those are her the things that she's connected to.
well, like they're in.
Star Trek 4, the voyage home, kind of fish out of water stuff. I hope they don't
Oh, that
just
would
show.
be
Oh, I'm sure they're doing that already. You could tell they're doing that with the whole you can drive a starship, but you don't know how to
Drive a car.
drive a car. They're gonna have a lot because they put a lot of humor in that first season that they don't really show in the trailers.
Yeah.
And but in the first season, it was Picard not only regaining his mojo, but also resetting the Federation back on track. And this one will be also saving the future and saving the Federation again. And I'm assuming third season will be the same thing.
Guys, I
'Cause-
figured it out. I've cracked the code.
What's
Okay.
that?
Check this out. Ready? Look at my screen here. Okay. Look at the emblem he's wearing.
Yeah.
Look at the Space Force official logo.
Oh, nice.
That's
Well,
the
there it is.
official United States Space Force logo right there, bro. Look at that. Look at that sucker. Look at that.
Interesting.
Huh?
Well, it already looks like a Star Trek logo.
Yeah, it's the same one. He's
Yeah, it already
wearing the
does.
Space Force logo, bro.
I think Space Force is ripping off Star Trek.
I agree with JP. I think
Oh,
they ripped off Star Trek.
I said the same thing, except for the Space Force logo was.
I mean, that's what you do, though. If anything was with space, I mean, Star Trek is a part of the culture worldwide for 55 years. So anything anybody does with space, their brain's automatically gonna put Star Trek imagery in there.
Except for that logo was made before the original series came out. So the original series actually borrowed the logo from Space Force.
Oh, Star Trek's a dumpster fire.
All right.
They had a woman on the bridge in the original pilot. Dumpster fire.
Careful, they'll just clip out that little piece.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Clip it out.
A GIF on Twitter. Watch it. Oh my God.
Well, there's so many things about original Star Trek that people complain about the new stuff that I've like, well, that same thing happened in the original series and D&G and all that stuff. You can point out, you can find the exact same stuff. And I'm like, oh, Next Generation's a dumpster fire. That guy's wearing a dress.
Yeah. What's funny is you can nitpick this stuff to the teeth, but I think it's a good
way to make money.
It is a good way to make money. But the problem is, the only problem I really see with Star Trek, if we're talking about what's happening, and I'm hoping that Strange New Worlds fixes it, is the lack of optimism that is in the current shows, especially in Discovery and Picard. It's very dystopian.
Yeah. And it depends on, I guess, the color glasses you wear, because I see hope in them. I mean, there's dark things going on, but I always see them striving for hope. I mean, they didn't do as good of a job in those first 2 seasons of Discovery and really, showing us what a hopeful, universe could look like. But in season 3, I always found them trying to get back there.
Yeah, no, I think that was the goal. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not so far into season 3 and 4 of Discovery. I've kind of almost, I don't know how I feel about it 100%, but I don't like it a lot. But looking at this whole idea of Starfleet as being the problem and kind of moving forward, I know they use that as like that's how they're using it as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is it needs to be a shining star on a hill.
Yeah,
in my opinion. And so when Strange New Worlds comes out, I'm really hoping that they've talked about it. It's going to be more optimistic. You see it coming out in all the things. Oh, we're bringing back optimism. It's going to be, fans are going to love it. I really hope that's the case, because what I love about Star Trek is that it inspires me. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel inspired by, so far. I mean, I love Picard. I love watching him in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. I can stomach that. But I want to watch it and feel inspired by what I'm watching, like I do with the Orville.
Yeah,
I'm inspired.
Well, it's just tough. I think Strange New Worlds could do that, especially with the episodicness of Strange New Worlds, because what we're getting with all the other series, the new series, is you're getting one story from the Star Trek movie universe, which, let's face it, all of them except for The Voyage Home was all a dark movie story.
It was, yeah.
So we're getting the Star Trek movies put out in 10, 12 episode storyline episodes, but you're only getting one story,
right?
That's true. I prefer the varied stories that have a nice conclusion at the end. And it's usually in Star Trek, it's usually a nice hopeful, everything's going to work out one way or another. And the Orville, I always appreciated that, because people are always comparing it to Star Trek. I'm like, man, the Orville, they have some dark endings in their episodes where things did not work out the way they would have worked out in Star Trek.
So true.
That is true, actually.
And I always appreciated that, because they're having fun along the way, but they're still having dark endings where I'm like, oh, the kid got the surgery anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, Talia is like, oh, those children, they saw what you did. Yeah, they will be your enemies. We didn't get the super happy endings a lot of times. Where in Star Trek, you usually got hey, things are going to be okay.
It's going to work out.
Yeah,
Till the next
the
week.
Orville is really good at that because they give you so much fun along the way that you don't really,
Yeah.
you're not really. I don't think the weight of how sad some of these endings are really dawn on you. Like, yeah, that kid, everything they did was for naught. They got the surgery.
Yeah,
those
and that's the more realistic ending. That's
It
the way
is.
if it happened here now in our time, that's probably how it would have ended up.
and the kids growing up to be terrorists, just like they're like that's
Yeah.
probably gonna happen. The women Mocklams, remember that one? I mean,
Mhm.
there's some really dark storylines, dude.
But there's still a sense with the Orville that even though that's happening, there's still this, I don't know, there's sense of optimism because the crew of the Orville is still working to make it better, to strive through those things.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me.
Unlike when Captain Archer was like, F all of this, everything sucks. I'm battle hardened now and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I got parasites in my brain.
Ah.
So Paul,
well,
take
let's
care
see.
of me for the next 200 years. I'm not going to remember you every day. You're going to have to get up and remind me every day. I'm sorry,
Probably
Captain, you're
with
going to die.
sex. No bad. No bad.
Oh, I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
that I did not like that episode of Enterprise because I'm like, how did you go from like one captain got some kind of time parasite and all of the future is completely ruined because that one guy? I feel like
That's
look,
everything that has to do with the future getting ruined is always because of one guy.
yeah, well, you know what? I feel like that's a bad government model. There should be redundancies. Okay.
Yeah.
If Captain Archer is not going to make it, if we need him so much for the future, he shouldn't be on the front lines. Protect that man. Leave him on Earth.
Yeah, he's important. Now they went dystopian with it. They're like, everything sucks.
Yep,
Yeah.
you're right.
That was a really dark episode. My
Yeah.
God.
Well, there's lots of ever since the original series, lots of dystopian style episodes, but because it's episodic, you can move on to a whole other vibe in the next episode.
Right. That's how
That
you
is
can get
not
away
so
with
true.
that. Yeah. And remember Tucker had like that scar on his face, like one of his eyes were all scarred up. He's like, hey,
Yeah.
Captain. You're like, damn, what?
Because he was too
happened,
close to
homie?
the engine. He worked too close to the engine
Yeah.
for too many years.
Yeah, like the radiation burned half his face off. That
Yeah.
was so fucking dark.
And now we know why there wasn't a 5th season. So,
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I love Enterprise so much. And
I do too.
I would love justice for Enterprise.
that would be cool.
The entire cast are still young. They still look great. And they're all very
They
talented.
didn't finish the story. The last episode was like quickly thrown together with
Yeah.
the TNG crew reflecting on Enterprise.
Yeah.
What?
That was
Finish the
terrible.
story, guys.
Yeah, it wasn't a finished story. And they hated that they couldn't do that, but they were canceled. So they're like, we got to throw something together really quick.
Right. At
I
least
actually
it's
love
finished.
the episode as an episode, but not as a series finale.
Yes, same here, brother.
Justice for Enterprise. I like that.
Yeah. Hashtag justice for Enterprise.
Bring it.
Thanks for watching. To see the full conversation, become a member of the Popcast family. Use the link in the description below or go to our channel and click the join button. Select your tier and we'll see you at the next show.